comes to counting the days, really, when we've not got a protest going on at the moment. That seems to be the challenging thing. Look at this. Over the weekend, we had Brussels. 70,000 people estimated to have gone to the streets of the Belgian capital. Also across France as well, in Paris, signs and placards demanding action. But then last Friday, look at this, Germany. A lot of young people there. This is Greenpeace Germany, sort of, with a bit of a controversial headline saying just naive youth. No, this could be the movement that changes things. Then, of course, as well as that, as I say, you had France. You've also had people in Austria. Now, what is underlying all this? It seems to be an awakening, if you like, on social media, especially among younger people. And we're not just talking about Europe. Let me bring you up the voice of Alexandria. She protests outside the UN General Headquarters. This is her message.
I've been striking every Friday at the United Nations headquarters in solidarity with Greta Thunberg. This past year, I saw Greta speak at COP24 in Poland, and after I'd seen how the world leaders had failed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 2030, I got mad.
She got mad, and crucially, she goes on to say to us, we were having a little exchanging messages, she says, I can't vote, and by the time I can vote, she says it could be too late. That is why she is there protesting. She also is calling for a nationwide shutdown of schools in America in March to mirror the actions of Greta Thunberg, obviously, who was there in Sweden, calling for action. Indeed, these signs even reminiscent, of course, of those held by Greta when she was outside the Swedish parliament week after week after week. We are getting this sense that the youth voice, on social anyway, is waking up. Let me just show you something a bit interesting. I think this is a bit different, an interesting take on all this, and that is going after governments. You were talking there earlier about the influence of industry. Well, look at this. This is a manifesto. It's a French manifesto. It's put together by students, and it's not directed at governments. It is directed at companies wanting to hire the very best French students. And in it, in effect, it says, if you want to hire us, you have to change your policies. Now, those behind it say that it's basically talking to the people with real power. Let me just give you what the organizer said to me earlier on.
If you want to recruit us, then you have to take care of how you are taking into account the environment. So we believe that most of the time companies have more influence than governments.
Most of the time, companies have more influence than governments. I think that chimes a little bit with what you were saying on the panel earlier. But I had to be, you had to ask that question. Are students really going to turn down jobs with the top companies because of their environmental records? Are young people really at that stage? Well, this is the answer I got to that question.
So once you've understood that, it's very natural to say, well, I'm not going to work 5 days a week from 8 to 6 to, well, just have 4 degrees global warming. Even if you give me money, that's just not good for my future.
Not good for my future. The idea that salaries are now not just what young people are thinking about. You're getting a sense here that as more and more students, estimated to be approaching 30,000 now across countries, have signed up to that manifesto. The idea that calls for action, not just from governments, but from industry too, are growing.